Campaigns aren't limited to the digital space. Quickly set up and deploy a modern print marketing campaign to specific homes identified based on your criteria. That means brand awareness grows and leads flow faster with far less spend. And if you think you have to be a computer scientist to take advantage, rest assured, because Command was built hand in hand with agents. It's designed to be used by agents, by you. Simple, smart, human. Command puts you in control of your database, your business, and your future. It's time to take command.
Real estate is about helping people with one of the most fundamental aspects of their lives, home. And you are the expert they turn to. And not just when someone buys or sells, but before, after, and all the little spaces in between. So it can be frustrating when you don't have the time or technology to know when someone needs your help. And when you miss that opportunity, it creates a gap that someone or something else can step into. So let's close that gap and give you the time and technology you need to build high-quality relationships with more people. Let's join forces and demand our technology not replace us, but help us be more human, more present, more everything. Let's take command. Built exclusively by and for Keller Williams agents, Command is your do-it-all, do-it-quickly, people-centric, less stress, more time, end-to-end platform to grow your relationships, your pipeline, and your market share. Whew! Luckily, using it is a lot easier than explaining everything it does, but let's give it a try. Organize, customize, and sync all your contacts. Group them however you want. Know exactly who to reach out to, when, and about the things they really care about. Send personalized, neighborhood-centric, just-in-time marketing.
Good morning. We have an appointment at 11 and it's 11 o'clock. Welcome to the sales meeting. Applause. Howdy, everyone. Got a few more people coming in. I figure we get this thing started.
Let's let everybody in.
All right. All right, I think we're caught up for the moment. Oh, there's two. As soon as I said that.
Susie Cole's in the house. Yes.
Susie Cole.
And Bruce, if you'll let me know when Molly D'Amatos comes into the group.
Okay.
Yeah. She should be with us any moment. All right, well, let's hear from you guys while we're letting people in. What are the, so today is our joint sales meeting between Round Rock and Georgetown. If there's anybody I have not met, I'm Steve Schlueter. I'm the operating principal at Round Rock and Avis's partner there in Georgetown, and delighted to be with you today. We've got a great meeting today, and we've got a special guest that's going to be joining us, and I'll tell you more about her in just a bit. We've got a tech moment that I know that Bruce and Jennifer have worked on to bring us a little tech moment at the end of the session today. And then we'll be wrapping up around 11:30, and then we'll be going right into Mary Zumwalt. That's going to take us into how to access, use all the do not call resources. I know especially you folks that have been going through BOLD, you are going, how do I make sure that I'm being compliant with the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, or the TCPA, as they say. How am I being compliant? What I need to make sure I do that. And guys, this is a good checkup from the neck up for all of us with regard to the do not call. And I would encourage every one of you at the bottom of the hour, roughly when we kind of wrap up with the tech moment, to stay on for the do not call. I know I'm going to stay on and make sure my saw is sharp in that area and ready to go. We've got a bunch of folks coming in here. We'll get them into the group. And first and foremost, I want to hear from you guys. What are some of the successes or insights you're having out in the marketplace today? What are some of your experiences that you might want to share with the group? Let's hear some successes, ahas, or bucket fills. Who's got something to share from the past week that would benefit the group? Unmute yourself, and who's going to contribute to the group first?
I will say, this is Judy and my team. They're supposed to be in here in just a few minutes. Richard's here, and Kaylee and Leslie. But we have been getting like 2 weeks ago, we got like six showings in one day and 3 offers. And this is all in Sun City. There's a lot going on in Sun City. So I think it's wide open for people to get listings out there. So that's a big market right now.
Thanks, Judy. Appreciate that. Yeah, and it's interesting. I just, as I pulled in the Round Rock, parking lot, I was talking to a couple of our agents we were talking about the market, how inventory levels are now getting to no longer months supply, they're getting to days supply. In some cases, we got 10, 12, 15 days supply of inventory. And I'm 33 years in the real estate industry, folks, and this is my first time I have experienced it this low. David and I were talking out in the parking lot, and I said, I remember a time in the early 2000s where we had just under 2 months of inventory. Judy, you probably remember that. That was when we were coming out of, our great real estate depression that we had, in Texas. There was about a period around 2002, I believe it was, where we got to these low inventories. And boy, I tell you, it will cause you to say, I'm going to move towards being a listing specialist. And one of the things that, we're going to be doing more and more is bringing you, resources and people that are going to really help us gain that edge on the listing side. This is going to help you get more control of your life and your business. Now, today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our special guest. I saw that she's come in, and one of the things that, I told you we're going to bring guests and resources to bear that are going to help us with listings as we go into our meetings. And the other thing we've got to really deal with is how we think in our mindset. And, when I come to you and I share with you some thoughts around how we think in our mindset, that comes first. And then we deal with the skills of how we adapt to the market, to the business. And, last week, I did a sales meeting on election day, just kind of a special sales meeting in Round Rock, and I'll post it on the Georgetown Facebook page. And we talked about really, how do you manage your thinking around whatever is going on? It doesn't matter what the results of the elections are, because here's the interesting thing. And I'm going to post this meeting. I put some slides in there from a mastermind I was with at Gary Keller. And, we looked at really the impact COVID is having on just the economy as a whole, what segments of the economy are impacted. And here's the interesting thing. The fundamentals of our economy are so strong that it doesn't matter who's in office. You may matter to some of us, and really this is not going to be a political thing. It really doesn't matter who's in office. What matters is what we focus on each day, focusing on what we can control. The great news is that you guys live in Central Texas, and one of the things that is happening, some of these states where, high tax states, expensive to live, these people are migrating to Texas. And we went over a map of where migration is where people are migrating out of and where they're migrating to. And guys, they're migrating to here. And we're going to continue to have a tight real estate market. And it's a great opportunity for us to, maybe when other people are kind of to the side, not really sure what to do, to really step in and gaining inventory. And we're going to help give you the tools and resources to make sure that happen. Now, Bruce, I'm seeing the Koppel team highlighted. What's everybody else seeing right now?
By my preview, it's focused on you, the speaker.
Okay, it was just I just didn't know what was going on here. So there's another state that people are moving to like crazy, and it's North Carolina.
Hey-o.
And we have with us today Molly D'Amatos. Say, hey, Molly.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Now, if you are taking bold right now, you remember Molly from day one, and she and Tammy kicked it off. And Molly is at Asheville, North Carolina, with the Matt and Molly team. She's a mega agent. Yet more important, as we go into these next couple of months and we bring you more resources on, how to go take more market share in the area of listings, get more control of your life and your business. I think the first part, because there's a lot going on in the world, is that we kind of work on our mindset. And, Molly, first off, she's a friend. Number two, she's one of the best critical thinkers that I know. She's got energy to infinity, and she's a great bowl coach. She's just a great human being. And Molly's going to do a little bit on mindset matters for us. And then we're going to go to Bruce and Jen on a tech moment. And then we'll go to our do not call conversation. And yeah, Molly, I'm going to turn it over to you. And you say mindset matters. So what say you? And I guess before we jump into that, what else do you want to tell them about Molly and the Matt and Molly team? And
Well, thank you, Steve. I just want to start off by, I'm looking at this beautiful group. I want to thank your leadership, Steve, especially you. It's really awesome to have leadership that's invested in your growth and your happiness, such that they're kind of continuing to work hard to make sure these meetings in Zoom land, as it were, are entertaining and valuable. It's pretty tough to do. So make sure you thank them. And I know, Steve, I know the best way you can thank him is by being engaged over the meeting that we have together here. Pay attention. That way you're going to help create a win-win. You might even learn something that'll lead you to some extra production. And obviously that helps you both. So thank you, Steve. I know it's not about me, yet you asked what else should they know. So I love relationships. Obviously, I'll probably be forming some new ones today. Hey, y'all. So just for transparency, Steve was right. My name is Molly D'Amatos, and you said it great, Steve. Well done. I've been a realtor for 15 years. I've co-owned and functioned as the CEO and an agent within the Matt and Molly team. I specialize in buyers. There's my little team logo here. We're up in Asheville, North Carolina. I've been doing that as part of the team for 9 years. I'm a KW University instructor and have the honor of being one of Steve's colleagues as a MAPS Bold coach too. So as someone who certainly has a passion for an understanding of mindset and how that journey can impact you, not just you, your production, your success, your results, your goals, whatever you want to call it. I have a passion for helping folks with that. So let's start this off right. In our little tiny blip of time we're going to get to share here together, you're going to have an experience, right? Steve's going to have an experience. Bruce is going to have an experience. Don's going to have an experience. I'm going to have an experience. You're going to learn and you're going to hear things and you're going to have an opportunity to participate. You're going to have an opportunity to make decisions, to act on what you learn. Very important point. I want to make sure y'all understand, and I tell this to everyone I get to talk to, please don't ever mistake my passion for what I'm talking about for anything crazy. Just know that I genuinely love this stuff because I have authentically changed my life, my business, my mind over the years, just focusing on that progress. So when you hear me asking you to do something a little uncomfortable or to take action or to change your thinking, I'm just going to beg you to listen, be open. It's just a couple minutes. It's fairly painless. I can't really touch you. So allow yourself the opportunity to enjoy this time together. I promise y'all, you can put this on embroider it on a pillow. Better is better. Yeah. We're going to do some really, really deep stuff like that. So with that, like Steve said, we're going to call this a little ditty, Mindset Matters. If you're someone who loves to take notes like me, I'm the same way. You can title this Mindset Matters. I promise to go in an order so that your notes will be succinct. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use these tips to set, reset, grow, repeat. When it comes to mindset, we've constantly got to be setting mindset, resetting mindset, growing mindset, and then repeating that process. Because the truth is, no matter our current surroundings, whether that be the real estate market, COVID-19, the election, like Steve was saying, the stock market, your kids, retirement, all of it, right? We're all on a journey. And when we talk about a journey, that brings movement. So first and foremost, just have faith in being moved by what you learn on the journey. No matter where you are on the path of what you may define as your mindset journey, just first have faith in the movement because that's already a win. I'm going to reference this book a little bit today. This is called The Little Gold Book of Yes Attitude. It's a book by Jeffrey Gitomer. And he tells us in this book, I love this definition. He says, positive attitude is defined as the way you dedicate yourself to the way you think. The definition for a negative attitude is exactly the same, right? So it's about what we're focused on. In bold, we say what you focus on expands. Yep, I know y'all know that one. So in our time together, I want y'all to focus on the way you think. We're going to have a little fun with that. We're going to, in fact, let's do an experiment. So humor me because you're in Texas and I'm in North Carolina. And this is how I know that we're connected. So let's talk about how we interact with each other, right? Many of you have your video off and it might be because you're thinking I look bad. I'm in my car. My kids are running around. I ain't got no pants on. I'm distracted. I want to be able to look at my phone and email without anyone judging me, right? Etc. Those are kind of the thoughts that will impact, and here's the important part, potentially define what you learn and how you experience this time together. So I'm going to encourage you to participate. We're going to do an adopted thought thing, right? Just for the next couple of minutes or so. So in a minute, when I say go, I want you to repeat after me, just in your head, not out loud, just in your head. You're going to adopt a thought. This is going to be what I like to call a coached affirmation. Are y'all ready? Say yes. I can see your heads nodding. Okay, awesome. So here we go. Close your eyes if you'd like. If it's easier, just repeat after me silently in your head. Here we go. I will be present, truly present and focused on this learning experience for the full duration because this is fun and I deserve this growth. Now, like legitimately, after repeating that in your head, don't you feel better? Maybe a little more focused, maybe a little more present. That's the power of your thoughts, right? We're conditioning ourselves one way or another every moment and every second of every day. So are you conditioning yourself to focus and be in control, or are you conditioning yourself for that life by default? So that concept, right? The choice attitude we talk about, this has been a foundational mindset piece we, like as in the collective humanity, we have had access to for decades, for centuries. I mean, really think about it. Orison Swett Marden wrote a 1916 book called Victorious Attitude. 1916, y'all. That's 104 years ago. And he said in that book, to think you can creates the force that can. Heck, y'all know this one. We can think and grow rich. We can win friends and influence people. Y'all, let me go way back. We can seek and ye shall find, right? We see that positive mindset, it's been on our personal growth must-do list forever. So why don't we just do it then? Well, I'll tell you, because it's hard. It's not easy, right? It's tough, it's painful, and it's chock full of failures. So that's why in this sense, mindset growth and intention is not about the chosen few. Gary Keller teaches us it's about the few who choose. I'm going to take it a step further. It's about a few who choose and fail and choose and fail and choose and fail and ultimately choose again, right? The only way you actually fail on this journey is if you end with the word quit. So to grow from our experience, just make sure you know it's for making the first hard choice, knowing that this journey isn't for the faint of heart. It's not always fun. It's not always easy. There's no finish line. There's no medal. You don't get no trophy, right? Yet along the way, you kind of earn your prizes. They show up in the lessons you learn, the people you help, and most importantly, the you become along the journey. So whether it's this 10 minutes that we have together, or the choices you make today, or the choices you make by Friday, or the end of the pandemic, your career, your life, whatever it is, decide each and every day that I get to look at all your beautiful faces, decide that you're worth it. Because here's the truth, and Steve knows this one, right? Think about how old you are. It has taken you years to develop the mindset you have in this moment today. So of course, it's going to be a journey to develop the mindset you desire, to develop the mindset you love, most importantly, to develop the mindset that serves you and your goals. So with that, I promised you I'd give you tips in order. Mindset Matters, back to basics tip number 1. Oh, I love watching y'all get your pens and paper out. That's fun. Is be committed. Don't worry, I can't spell it either. 2 M's, 2 T's. Be committed, right? Be committed is tip number 1 because you've got to be patient with that commitment. The you desire to become will only show up when you work on that person daily. Did you hear that? The you desire to become the you I desire to become will only show up when I work on her daily. She takes a lot of work. So my biggest hope today is that each of you are going to seize the opportunity to wake up every morning as a teeny tiny better version of yourself. Just a little bit, like Steve Schlueter 2.1, right? It's just a little bit better. There's an old Zen saying that I love. This is probably one of my favorite Zen sayings. It says, after my house burned down, I saw the moon more clearly. Wow. Are you conditioning your mind to think like that? Are you looking for the good? Because y'all know this from being little bitty and going playing hide and seek, right? After all, we can only find what we go looking for. And when it comes to happiness, well, we got to get after it. We have to get after it. And that's going to lead me to your Mindset Matters Back to Basics tip number 2. Be intentional. Be intentional. How intentional are you about that conditioning? How intentional are you about conditioning yourself to become that happiness hunter? Are you seeking out happiness in every situation? Now, hold on. Don't go sideways on me. Let's get real here too. This is not about denying reality. I'm not asking you to paint a false picture. Diana Kokoska taught us years ago. This isn't a suggestion, right? To put a smiley face sticker over your gas gauge and drive on into the desert. That's not what we're asking you to do. This is about acknowledging reality and then choosing how you will exist within it. So the good news is that the more you work on it, that's the intentional part, right? The more you work on it, the less vulnerable you'll become to negativity. That is conditioning by design. Because here's the truth. We are all human. Every single, well, as far as I can tell on the screen, right? Every single one of us is going to mess this up. We may default occasionally back into what I like to call your victim uniform. Do y'all know what a victim uniform is? They're called poopy pants, right? We have this victim uniform we call poopy pants. We put on our poopy pants and we throw a pity party, right? That's going to happen. Y'all, I have had some pity parties. I have put on the poopy pants, right? We've all done it. Yet here's the thing. The growth comes when we recognize we put the pants on. We throw the party. So we've got to design the ability to own the uniform we put on. Is it poopy pants or purpose pants? It's your choice. You're going to throw yourself a pity party or a production party. It's up to you, right? The attitude you choose to wear, the attitude you choose to adopt is up to you. And that leads me to Mindset Matters Back to Basics. Tip number 3. Oh, this is a big one. It's my favorite. Take responsibility for everything you can. Take responsibility for everything you can. Steve and I teach this in bold. You get your power back by taking ownership and responsibility for the status of your situation. Realize what's within your control and then be honest about it. Yeah, buts, blaming, excuses. Lean into this one, y'all. Those are just cheap, self-deprecating ways to take an easier path to justify your failures. Ouch, right? Yeah, the truth hurts a little bit. Take a deep breath, though. This isn't about making all the right choices all the right time. The easy road, it's okay to take sometimes, right? I've taken it. Steve's taken it. Don's taken it. Bruce has taken it, right? Just don't lie to yourself about the choice you made to take it. Because what we know is that lie, those excuses, those yeah buts, all those things, they rob you of your ability to actually learn from it, to grow from it, and to come back better next time. So here's another old quote. This is from my friend Aldous Huxley. You know he's old with a name like Aldous Huxley, right? It's not about what happens to you. It's what you do with what happens to you. Because negative thoughts are incredibly impactful. They have a legitimate physical and psychological impact on your life, your health, and your performance. The truth is, y'all, stuff happens, right? People happen. Sometimes stuffy people happen. Y'all know what I'm saying here, right? These situations when the junk happens, these people when the junky people happen, these places, right? The environment, they're either going to break you and your mindset journey, or they're going to grow you and your mindset journey. And that's determined by how you choose to react and take responsibility for your DNA within that situation. Simon Sinek, I like to call him my good buddy because I've read all his books, right? I feel like I know him. He says probably one of great quotes. You should write this down. The common denominator in all my failed relationships is me. The common denominator in all my failed relationships is me. Whew. When we choose to own that, when we choose to grow from that, then we're able to create the person who learns how to win that life by design, who learns how to get after it and sign more listings, who learns how to just suck it up and do, as Gary says, embrace the suck, right? Make the calls because you know you're going to make them. Might as well not whine about it, right? So to recap your Mindset Matters Back to Basics focus on this journey, number 1 is to be committed and be patient. Let go of perfect. Learn to simply celebrate being aware. Sometimes my greatest win of the day is that I admit I put on the poopy pants, right? That's a win. I can grow from that. Number 2 is to be intentional. Refocus every day, every hour, every moment sometimes on how purpose plays a part in this journey, especially when it's hard. That's your biggest opportunity. When you're feeling all gunked up here, that's your biggest opportunity to grow. It's the intentional part. And then number 3 was take all the responsibility you can get your hands on. You're going to need help, and that's okay. You're going to fail, and that's okay. Just remember, sometimes you've got to listen to the people who are out there to help you instead of just listening to yourself. It's a journey, my friends, and I'm thrilled to be on it with y'all. Steve, that's what I've got for you today, my friend. I think you're muted. You look real good, though.
How rare is that? Guys, put some love for Molly in the chat, and give her some appreciation. Molly, I wrote down a lot of ahas, and, one of them that really stood out to me is you own the uniform you put on. And when you think about the uniform you put on, a lot of us, we can go wear a uniform right now, maybe about we didn't like what happened this last week, or the struggle with the market, and yet putting the resourceful uniform on, right? And deciding, how am I going to go forward? How am I going to go? I drove in from San Antonio to Round Rock this morning, and I made a choice not to listen to talk radio. I made a choice to think about the future and how I'm going to do what I can control. Mm-hmm. And I think all of us, it's right now, what is the market giving us? And it's giving us a certain kind of market, and go, okay, I'm going to put on the uniform of a person that goes and gets listing. I'm going to put on the uniform of that person who the market doesn't define me. The elections don't define me. Who's in office doesn't define me and what I can do. It doesn't matter. And it's not good or bad either way. It's just making some choices today. And I think we can get all caught up in things that we don't have control of, and decide today, what is it I can control? And your mindset, Molly's given us so many gifts, is number 1. Thank you, Molly. I appreciate you. Love you to death, girl.
It's an honor. I love you too. And I love Texas. Y'all are my peeps. So I'm going to come down and visit one of these days.
It says y'all. So, you just fit right in right there. So thank you, Molly. Appreciate you.
Bye, everybody. Thank you very much.
Hey, Bruce, let's set us up for the tech moment, and we're going to go a little past the bottom of the hour, and then we'll go into Do Not Call. And yet take us into the tech moment and talk to us about there. This is one of those areas where we can all put on the uniform of being resourceful to embrace our technology. So go ahead, Bruce.
All right. So I went to, so we have a video that was actually an interview between Gary Keller and a gentleman by the name of Tyler Shields. And so I just want to share that with you. So here we go. Get that set up just a moment. All right, let's go. Are y'all hearing it?
Hi, Tyler. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. You too, Gary.
So Tyler and I actually visited this week, with Andrew, one of his partners, and I said, well, I want limited time. We're only going to take 10 minutes. So Andrew was gracious enough not to join us so that you and I could just dive right in. So Tyler, tell us a little about your business real quick so everyone just gets a perspective of you, and then we'll dive in.
Yeah, so I got my Colorado real estate license 5 years ago, started working full-time March of 2016. I run an expansion team, Relevate. Our hub is in Littleton, Colorado, and then we have a location in Tempe, Arizona. Last year in 2019, we closed 273 sites for just over 2.5 million in GCI. And this year we're pacing 333 units for 3.4 million in GCI. But more importantly, our first year that we will exceed $1 million in profit.
That's awesome. The reason why I wanted you on was to just talk quickly about you began to experiment this year You were, one of your 5 pillars of lead gen was Boomtown and online leads. And you got the bug earlier this year to experiment with Command. And so I just wanted you to take just a few minutes and just tell us that experience so everyone can just kind of hear this.
Yeah. So as Gary said, online leads has always been one of our top 2 pillars of our business, but our chase since our business has began has always been higher ROI and more control. And we knew that was the right move to be moving towards. Well, in the past couple of years, we've been using Boomtown, which just ran Facebook ads for us. We knew it was nothing more than just buying Facebook leads. And in the past year, we started hearing about these command leads, started hearing about how cheap people were generating them. And every time I'd look over at my business partners and go, wow, that's way cheaper than the Facebook leads we're buying right now. And even if our conversion rate dropped in half, we would still double our ROI. So we finally had no excuses once COVID hit. When that NBA canceled their season that Thursday night, I think it was that Friday that I was talking with my business partners going, okay, now it's time to try this out. We have no excuses. Time to figure out if we really can double this ROI. And by that next week, we were experimenting with running ads and trying to get things going.
Yeah. So tell us the experience. So what'd you do?
Yeah. So first and foremost, what we did is we said, can this scale to the level that we needed to scale? Because I didn't care about, one ad with 10 leads or whatever. I cared about replacing 1,000 leads a month and then scaling from there. So quite honestly, the first thing I did is I randomly Facebook messaged Josh Team and I said, does this scale? Because I couldn't figure out if anyone else was doing it at this scale. And being the guy he is in the company we have, he responded that night at 10 p.m. and talked for 20 minutes and gave me the confidence I needed to go, let's try this out. And so we jumped right in. We started testing things, started building ads. We looked at, there's Facebook groups out there, Command Your Conversion, where Nick Baldwin has created great videos on how to build ads. And we just decided not to be that creative, just try to copy and perfect. And so we had ads that were terrible and ads that were great. And over time, we just started building more and more ads, testing more and more stuff in our market and figuring out what's working and what's not working.
So give us the data. So what actually happened?
Yeah, so since we started running ads at the end of March until today, we've generated 2,054 leads through commands. Of those leads we've generated, 26.3% have become positive nurtures in our CRM, meaning we've had two-way communication and they communicated there's no reason they wouldn't work with us and they will buy at some point. Now the onus is just on us to stay in touch and stay top of mind and add value until they're ready to go.
So you're saying this so you're saying if I do the math, that's what, 400 or so?
Yes. Yeah, correct. 400 people that we're talking back and forth with, that we have set up on listing searches. And then right now, out of those kind of 400 that are in the CRM, we've already put 3 under contract for 30,000 in gross commissions and another 14 active buyers and sellers. In our market, 10,000 is the average gross commission. So that's a lot of potential ROI sitting in the pipeline, not to mention the people that will become buyers and sellers 3-6 months from now as we continue to nurture.
Any challenges, any problems?
Yes, I think that the challenge with this type of lead gen is a great conversion rate is 1%. And so it's really tempting to focus on the 99% that aren't converting.
Yeah, that's right.
When your mind is around the 99% that aren't going where you need to go, it's really hard to keep your eyes open for that 1% opportunity. And so what I see is 99% aren't converting, but then people start closing their eyes and they miss that one opportunity that's going to give them the ROI they need. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy and a downward spiral. And so you got to understand the numbers. 40 to 50% may never respond. Another 20 to 30% will be a negative reaction on the first contact, but that 26% you'll have a great conversation with, and that's potential business if you can stay top of mind. And I think that's the most important thing. The second challenge I would simply say is ads can be hard. Like it's really nuanced. Like I have an example of 2 ads where one ad I said gorgeous and the other ad I said affordable, and the affordable one was 10 times cheaper than the gorgeous. Like you got to test and figure it out, think empathetically, but pause ads that aren't working and just try more, just build more ads basically.
So what was thank you. The last question, and that is cost. So if we do an ROI on this, what does that look like for you? Spend versus your projected income?
Yeah. So again, in our market, we have a higher average commission, 10,000 per commission. But we started out, we were generating ads. We were around $3.60 a lead. We're now getting that under $3 a lead. But more importantly, our ROI that we're tracking is a 20 times ROI on the business we have in the pipeline. I'm trying to replace a 5 times ROI system. And so it's insane, the potential. So
I love that. I love that. Are you doing any seller ads, or are you going strictly for buyers?
Yes, we have actually started testing seller ads. In fact, on the there's a virtual tech event earlier this week. I shared one of our seller ads we did, which were more expensive per lead. They were more like $10 or $11 per lead, but 30% of the leads became appointments, and everyone I talked to owned a home. So we've signed a listing agreement from those already. And so we just basically took what would be considered like a normal farming mailer and just turned that into an ad and said, let's try it out. And so it was higher intentionality. Less people are going to click on it, but of the people that have, they've been homeowners, and we've seen some success. So
is there a secret to generating a Facebook campaign like that and then pulling it into Command and working it? Is there a simple system for that?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to work them in Command, there's really nothing you need to do besides just build the ad and wait for stuff to start rolling in. The campaigns are already connected to Command. And so if you're going to work them in there, they're already connected. I will just say, like, as you're generating campaigns, the secret to that is just empathy. Like, just think about a buyer's mindset as they're approaching that. What would you click on if you were a buyer? And that's how you build campaigns, is simply with empathy.
So of the leads that you generated so far, did you say it was like $3 a lead?
Correct. Yep. Lifetime today.
So 3 times 2,000 is what?
Yeah, we spent about $6,000 so far.
That's pretty remarkable, actually. It's actually pretty dang hard to spend that little money to generate that many pipeline relationships. Yeah, that's hard to do.
And the only thing you really see in campaigns is people talking about cost per lead. And so I think if we're so concerned about, like, I think even 6,000 probably sounds like a lot to some people. And I'm like, that sounds amazing to me. And so I think you just have to be willing, like, if you're going to commit to something, you got to commit to pump that well pump until the water comes. Know that it's going to come eventually. And that's what we've committed to. So.
Yeah. And in your case, you could literally, in the case of our mastermind, they could literally, hire someone on their team to literally manage all of this.
Totally. We hired a virtual assistant to manage all this stuff. Costs us $1,000 a month, and they handle all of this kind of integration and stuff so that it's as easy as possible for us. And so that was our solution, running the team that I'm running. I couldn't do it all myself, but I will say, creating the ads, you are able to do that yourself. 30% of the ads, I created all myself watching videos. So, like, if you're a solo agent, you can create ads on your own. Like, there's no excuses. I didn't have my director of ops do it all. Like, I tried it and I did it myself, and I can create ads for under $2 a lead myself too. So
I love that. Thank you so much. All right. I think we're done. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. Thank you, Bruce. Now, hey, we're a little over. We want to make sure we go available for you to go to the Do Not Call meeting. Now, is that on a separate link, Bruce? Is that what I'm
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So if you look in the chat, you have a link, and please write down this passcode 183-966. 183-966. You can copy and paste it there in the chat. You'll find the link from April Freeze. She sent it at 11:26. Passcode 183-966. Thank you for that.
And I'm going to send 2 links in the chat, because that talked all about, drove the point home of how effective this can be in your business. And so I'm sending 2 links that are 2 different training videos on how to do it. So you can do that. You can take that advantage of that opportunity of Facebook ad campaigns at a very low cost, especially if you're just starting out. So I'm going to send some info on that in the chat as well.
All right, let's do that right now. If you'll get that, then click it. There's your YouTube. And I think he's got one more coming. And then we'll go over to the Do Not Call session with Mary.
And there we are.
And if we can send those to the Round Rock, you know, put them on the Facebook groups as well, Bruce.
Yep.
That would be great. And send them over to Georgetown. All right. I'll see y'all in the Do Not Call session.
Reposting, do not call. And then once everybody feels like, once we get down to a few people, I'll end the meeting. But
Okay. Thank you, Bruce.
because they'll lose chat if I close.
Okay.
We'll just hang out.